During World War II, from a logistics standpoint, you want to supply millions of men, millions of guns with probably billions of rounds of ammunition. The more simplified you can keep it, the better it's going to be. Instead of manufacturing 10 different calibers, how if we just manufacture 2 different calibers? So you look at all the guns that fired that big 30-06 round. The Garand, the BAR, the 1903 early in the war in the Pacific, the 03A4, the sniper rifle, the 1919, the 30 cal, the mounted like in all the aircraft. They all fired 30-06, the 30 caliber weapon. For the handgun end of it, you had the 1911, the 1917, the big revolver. You had the Thompson submachine gun, the M3A1, the grease gun. They all fired that 45 ACP. You pretty much had all your bases covered. You had your rifle rounds, you had your machine gun rounds, your light machine gun, your heavy machine gun, your squad weapon. You had your sniper rifle. You had your submachine guns. You had pistols. You had everything pretty much filled. The only thing you were missing was a carbine. So the military came out with the M1 Carbine, great little handy rifle, less than 5 pounds, holds 15 rounds, another 30 caliber weapon, but it's really closer to the handgun. If we look at the ammo, you'll see that the 30 carbine it's basically a pistol round. So the M1 Carbine was never really meant to replace the rifle. It was never even really meant to replace the pistol. It was maybe a better weapon to carry than a pistol. So the guys who would normally be carrying that 1911, well, now they could carry an M1 Carbine. If you were a truck driver, radio operator, mortarman, something like that, where you had other responsibility besides being an infantryman, you could carry an M1 Carbine. It's very light, very handy. Didn't take up much more room than the 1911, but it gave you a little more firepower. You had now 15 rounds of that 30 carbine ammo, and now with those carbine or almost rifle sights, you picked up a lot more range. So in its defense, it was better than a pistol. And you'll hear guys complain, they say, well, the M1 Carbine lacked power, it lacked knockdown, it lacked all these things because they were comparing it to the M1 rifle. And that's not a fair comparison. Hey, my truck won't haul what a dump truck will. Yeah, because you have a pickup truck. It's not doing the same job as a dump truck. And then this little Ferrari here, well, this thing's, it's not the race car either. It's somewhere in between. But this is maybe closer to the handgun than it was to the rifle, or closer to the Ferrari than it was to the dump truck. Bad analogy. And I find bad analogies are like carrots. There's another bad analogy. But if we look at the ammo, and we'll take a close up here, you'll see that 30 carbine round is a lot closer to that pistol round than it is to a rifle round. So this poor little carbine was never intended to take on the role of a rifle. It was more intended to take on the role of a pistol. You got to keep your weapons in their own strong suit and use them for what they're intended for.